Hello, my name is Jamie Lindau, and I'm the sales manager at Trachte Building Systems. Today we're going to be talking about the bread and butter of self-storage, which is building regular one-story, drive-up access, standard self-storage units. If you've looked at some of my other videos, you're seeing that there's a trend to do multi-story facilities or very wide Class A, larger projects that are in big cities. But in truth be told, for Trachte, we sell the majority of the buildings to small towns, smaller areas of the country that have regular drive-up access. So today we're going to look at what I consider an excellent example of a small facility. One of the problems a small facility has is they have to manage their site differently. Because if you want to have a manager on duty, you'll need to have around 250 to 300 units before you have any chance of paying for that manager and making any real money. So how do you get these small facilities and make them work? Well, you have to manage them differently. The number one way people do it is usually run it from their own house. They use their own cell phone to call, schedule an appointment to meet the customer at the site. That's one way to do it. The other is you might have them go to a business nearby that rents the unit. Or the last alternative, like what's here, is that they will have an ATM machine and a separate kiosk in which to manage and rent the units. And that's in the little office behind me. So that is the mini office that you could have that works in this facility. That's around 33,000 square feet. Around 250 units. So what makes this site very nice? First of all, it has a great location. If you look to the side here, you're going to see a heavy traffic flow of all the cars behind me. It has a very nice curb appeal, outstanding curb appeal really, because they built in very nice fencing, gate system that makes it really look Class A for a small unit, small facility. They have a keypad to get in, they have a keypad to come out, so basically you have the security that a lot of people are looking for when they're looking to rent self-storage. Here is the smallest office you'll ever see. Inside is the Open Tech Alliance rental station that we will look at, but look at all the lettering on the outside. You got to make people understand that they got to come through this door and rent a unit. It's open 24 hours a day, rent inside 24/7. Here's your name and how to call. You open it, and here we get into the unit. I like these that are enclosed out of the weather because the sun hits them, the cold weather, hot weather. I think there's a better chance for longevity for all the equipment that's in here. Now let's take a peek at how you actually rent a unit. Now the way these work is you touch the screen.
This rental station, 2 rental spaces, take payments, and complete reservations.
Right here you can slide to get it started, but they'll ask you how to rent their unit. You can fill in all the information to rent the space, and if you have a problem, you can actually talk to someone. Then when you complete your rental agreement, you'll get the agreement coming out of here, and then it'll also distribute a lock for you. This place, like many others, gives you a free lock when you actually rent the space. That's one of the perks some people do have, so they get conformity and consistency in their self-storage facility that everybody's using the same lock. So this is how they rent the unit. It'll give them a gate code, and then they'll go right into the facility. Now, when this site was laid out, they knew they were going to have a gate, completely fenced, gate to come in. And what happens is that they have the same gate to come in and come out. So as you notice that everyone can get out. Every driveway, you can circle around and come back out through this same opening. They'll have a little bit wider drive aisle here. And they have actually on my left over here, there's a few parking stalls and then a couple of parking stalls right here to go into the rental kiosk. So that's very nice. After we rent the unit, we'll drive up. And the gate will open. Then we're ready to go through into the facility. As I mentioned earlier, that our bread and butter is standard buildings where everyone can drive up and unload right into the unit. Now, this particular building is a 312 pitch building. Around 20 to 25% of the time, that's about our average for the last decade, people buy this type of building where they have a higher pitch. It has a colored roof, which is nice. A lot of people like the aesthetic appeal of it. The cities a lot of times want you to have that. They don't like the flat pitch. And this one is using an R-panel roof, which is the less expensive version. You'll see that there's more screws on the roof, but they don't leak because all the water comes off in a relatively very quick fashion. And this is down more in the south, where they don't worry about snow coming off. The only problem with high-pitched roofs and when you get a lot of snow is the snow keeps falling off in the winter when the roof warms up. But the other advantage of these type of units, like this unit right here, is that when you open the unit, you'll get much more cubic space. And the bigger and deeper the unit, the taller and taller it gets. And a lot of people like that. They think they're getting a lot more value for their money. So, one of the other nice features that this site has is these buildings are around 300 feet long. And he needed to have drainage to make sure the water all drained to that end of the property that goes into a catch basin. And with the normal 1% grade that you want in your concrete, it's going to have to drop 3 feet. Instead of having all the buildings level and then having 2 or 3 1-foot steps here, he decided to pitch the buildings on a 1% slope. So what happens is this building on that end is 3 feet lower than this end. So it slowly goes down, and he's able to keep his concrete driveway consistent. He has about a 2.5 inch notch here, and he'll have that follow all the way down. So it's very uniform, very easy to snow plow, and very easy to keep clean. And the water all drain very appropriately. So when you build it this way, it's something you do it once right the first time, and you're in great shape to not have to do much in the future, which is what you're looking for in self-storage. The water comes down right into this catch basin. And at the end of each row of the driveway, there'll be a catch basin, and it'll take the water off into the storm drain. And the other thing that almost everyone does when they build these standard one-story buildings is they put small units on the end wall and units on the end wall, like we see here on this particular project. This one is a 10, 20, 30-foot end wall. So here is 6 5x5s they actually have right here. You can have 5x5s, 5x10, 10x10s, 10x15s if you'd like on any end wall. And they give a nice look. These buildings are running north-south, which is nice, so that if you are in the north, that the sun will get to both sides of the building to melt any ice that are there. The other thing, as I had mentioned earlier, is that this site has excellent, outstanding fencing and landscaping, because a lot of times the cities are very worried about how it's going to look, what's the presentation. And as you notice, while we're walking by here, you're seeing great fencing, a lot of small bushes, trees, and looks like about every 30 feet, they'll have a column that is a concrete column, concrete block, which give an accent the nice black aluminum fence that they have going on here. One of the things you always have to remember when you're starting with one building and phasing your project is that you're going to have electric in each building, and then if you're going to have cameras, you're going to need conduit for the cameras to go in each building. And that's what we have here. These conduits are most likely for his camera, and this is for his power. And then you might want power on the outside of the building. This isn't really for the customer to use, it's for you to use when you have to clean up or need power for fixing something. So it's nice to have power on the outside. Some people have them so you lock them so only the owner can have them. I hope you learned a little bit about building a standard self-storage facility and making it nice And let's go over one more time what it'll be to be successful in today and in the future. First of all, you want to be located on a well-traveled road. You want to be able to make sure that you're well presented on the internet, have a website. You should have, when you build your buildings, you should have at least have security cameras. That'd be the first security I'd have with lighting. Then after that, if you can afford it, I would fence it and then have a gate like this has. Now, to make it easier for customers to rent, I suggest that you have a computer software program that will take Visa cards, let them rent online, make a reservation online, and even rent the unit online. If you wanted to, you could then go to what this has and have an actual rental kiosk where they can do it all there. But in reality, most don't have that. They just run it from a separate cell phone. And lastly, you want to be able to give a good presentation, because our business is turning into like the hotel industry, where people will go to the nicer, newer, cleaner facilities. And that's the exact same in a small town as it will be in a large city. So if you make yours nicer than the previous one, it feels cleaner. You make sure you take care of rodents, those types of things, keep it clean. You'll be able to get good word of mouth, because referrals are a great part in this business, and that should help you be successful. Well, again, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we have a number of other ones to look at. And if you have any questions, you can call me directly at Trachte, or you can email me at jlindow@trachte.com. Thank you, and good luck with your next self-storage project.